What's up, everybody? This is Jesus Barza. We're now in September 2021, and in this month, well, by September 9th, it'll be a celebration to celebrate 25 years of everybody's favorite Bandicoot. That's right, it's Crash Bandicoot, and man, it's been 25 years, and man, time flies, and wow, it's been so incredible years playing Crash Bandicoot, and I want to think about my opinions and my story about how I started when I played Crash Bandicoot in the first place. Okay, let me get a drink some water and. Sorry, I was thirsty. Okay, here's a story about how I started playing Crash Bandicoot. I just first played Crash Bandicoot Warped on my original PlayStation 1, and I used to play with it, but to me, when I was young, it was a bit harder for me at the time, and it just it makes me feel frustrated. And my mom told me about this you cannot do it, and man, that was me at the time when I was young. And yeah, I used to play Crash Bandicoot Warped. Crash Bandicoot Warped is my first ever Crash game that I ever first played it, and on my PlayStation 1 at the time. And those kind of levels is kind of pretty hard and all that. Sorry, I'm trying to. Yeah. Okay. It was that was back at the time when it was just very hard for me to play Crash Bandicoot Warped on my original PlayStation 1 back as those kind of days years ago when I was young. And this is so harder for me. But now I just continue playing some of the Crash games that I played, and it's so hard for me at times. But now, a few days later, I believe, I just passed it. It's been a fun game. And when I first got PlayStation 2, and I got Crash Bandicoot Warped, but the main reason the disc, well, I used to play it. It's kind of worked very well when I put it in. The disc of from PlayStation 2 of Crash Bandicoot Warped I played, but the disc it doesn't read or something like that. Not sure what's going on, but it's really not working at the time. But I played it, but it was a fun time. But then suddenly, unfortunately, the disc on my PlayStation 2 of the Crash Bandicoot Warped was not working. It just does not want to play it. So yeah, that's unfortunate. It was, but okay, that's all I can say here about Crash Bandicoot Warped. I played it, and say Crunch and Elemental Mask and all that, but this is all I can say here for my PlayStation 2 days. And there's some games I used to remember. I used to play Crash Bash. And I bet there's just only like about four mini games. But I try to play the next one in adventure mode, but unfortunately, my original PlayStation 1 has some issues and does not want to play it. Does not want to play those kind of mini games or something. Yeah, we're just out of luck of this one, but yeah, it just wasn't fun at the time, but yeah. And let's see. And my last ever Crash game I ever played it was Crash of the Titans, but I have it here. Crash of the Titans. Yep, still have it here, but this is my last ever game I played on my PlayStation 2 era, on a PS2 era. And but it seemed to me that kind of so strange about this kind of Crash design is kind of look a bit too odd, and everybody's like, I'm not sure, is that Crash Bandicoot? Who is that? Who designed that? and I'm not sure who did, but yeah, it just wasn't feel like much Crash to us, but Crashes look a bit different. But Coco and Crunch, and they all look a bit different, and it's kind of weird to us. But yeah, it depends. But this is how it goes. But and Crash, Coco, Crunch, and Aku Aku are like had a different designs, but it's kind of a bit too weird. But and it was not exactly like how it used to be. But then I just completed a whole game in Crash of the Titans, and man, but it's still a pretty good game. It's still pretty good, but this is my last time I ever played it. But Crash of the Titans was my last one I ever played on a PS2 era. Yep, that's a good story. And then until by in 2016, when E3 of 2016, when they announced Crash Bandicoot, the original Crash 2 and Crash Warp are getting remastered for PS4, and I was I was mind blown, and I just am very surprised they're bringing back Crash Bandicoot, and it will be remastered into PlayStation 4, the original Crash 2 and Crash Warped, and I did get my PS4 at the time in 2016 when they announced it, and I've been waiting for 1 year later. 1 year later, in 2017, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy has been released on 2017, and boy, I cannot. And I played it, my all-time favorite childhood game. Now I can play it anytime I want, all over again. It was yeah, I have no words, but I've been playing it lots of times whenever I want, and I could play it all over again. Back in my childhood days, now I could play it all over again. But also, yeah, I'll get to that a bit, but then I think 2018 was at the time where Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy will now release on Nintendo Switch and Xbox One and all the other platforms. So that's a good opportunity. So, and I do have Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy on the Nintendo Switch, so I could play it anywhere I go. So yeah, it depends, but it includes 3 remastered games of Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Bandicoot Warped. And it was a very fun time playing Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. My all-time favorite childhood games, it's back again on a PS4. And man, no matter how many times I played it, I loved it, and I could play it all over again whenever I want. Oh, and also there's some like bonus levels like Stormy Ascent on a Crash Bandicoot original, and a Crash Bandicoot Warped added a different level, call it Future Tense. It's like a new different level that the PS1 doesn't have, so that's add a little different to it, and they added Coco to be playable. Yeah, it is a fun time playing Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy on a PS4. Yeah, I would play with it more anytime I want, whenever I feel like it. So yeah, my all-time favorite childhood game is back again. Now move over to in 2019 when Crash Team Racing is getting remastered as well. So, and I was excited to play Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, but I never had Crash Team Racing on the PS1 at the time, and I never played it. But now I finally, yeah, because I didn't have Crash Team Racing at the time. I didn't play it. Crash Team Racing on a PS1 at a time. I never played it, but now Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, I finally played it, and man, this is the best racing game ever. A remastered of Crash Team Racing. And now they're adding some, like, now we got more characters than ever before, that like, with new graphics on that, and they're adding some new tracks, like, something never have on the original Crash Team Racing and Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. That tons of features, like different kind of cards and um, decal stickers and characters with skins and all that. And there has some more characters, like, you could play as more characters from Crash Team Racing, Crash Nitro Kart, and other characters that was never in a Crash Team Racing or never been playable. Like, they're adding Tana, the Nitro Squad, Tana, Amy, Megumi, Liz, Isabella, and they added Rillaru and Pasadena Possum, Yaya Panda, Hasty, and many more characters that were added in, and now we have, and then in Crash Team Racing, the original Crash Team Racing, they only have one female character, which is Coco, was the only female character to be playable. But in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, now there is more female characters than ever. Like Coco, we have Tana, Amy, Megumi, Liz, Isabella, Baby Coco, Nina Cortex, Pasadena Opossum, and Yaya Panda. And I think there's like 10 female characters, I believe. I don't believe, am I wrong, but now we have more female characters to be as playable racers in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Any girl gamers will like to play as their favorite female character, or play as any male character. And yeah, it was the best racing game. Now it has some different features like online multiplayer and more characters and all that. And man, and this is the best time we ever played Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. I cannot play to do some more. Whenever, I don't know, when I feel like it, or once I'm not sure when I would play it more. To play more Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Okay, that's all I can say here. And then last year, in 2020, which is last year, a brand new Crash Bandicoot game was been announced as of a brand new original adventure, and this is the fourth Crash Bandicoot game. Is right after Crash Bandicoot Warped, and it was Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time, and man, we all blew their minds, and we're so very excited that we're finally getting a brand new Crash Bandicoot game. Like, something different that we never expected. Not a remake, but something brand new, like a new adventures and new gameplays, new everything. Because new characters, yeah, that's what we've been waiting for years and years and years. But now we're finally got it. Crash Bandicoot 4 is About Time. It's a brand new game, and I just played it to play those kind of Crash, Coco, Dingle Dial, Cortex, and the different version of Tana. Call it the AU Tana or alternative dimension Tana, when you want to call her. And I play as her, and man, looks pretty good. And they're the female entropy, and I have a lot of fun time experience playing Crash Bandicoot 4 is About Time, and yeah, but also this is very hard one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was just very hard to do. So there's some levels are extremely harder that we have to do without dying. Man, that's very impossible to do, but it just and that was very impossible to do. But yeah, but anyways, but that's why I have a lot of fun time playing Crash Bandicoot 4 is About Time. But a brand new kind of Crash game, yeah, man, good times here. But now we had a fun time last year when we played Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time when it first released. Okay, in 2021, well, the new Crash Bandicoot app game, Crash on a Run. Yeah, I played it several times, and it's like Crash and Coco are running and collected and stop those Cortexes. How should I call it? This is hard to. This is so hard to say, but Cortex's alliance, and there's so many some of the villains and also and one thing I was surprised about like Mr. Crumb. Mr. Crumb is like a Crash Bandicoot 99X thing, but this is like the 8-bit thing, but we don't know how it looks like in if they make a remake, but in a Crash on the Run, Mr. Crumb looks a bit different and it looks fantastic. Mr. Crumb of the Crash on the Run design, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And also like Thorn Thing, and wow, there are so many other villains from all Crash games or something of the past, and or even there's some are cut as well. They've also been adding in the mix, so yeah, I have a lot of fun time playing Crash on the Run, and there are a lot of skins for Crash and Coco and all that. And let's see, what could be next for Crash Bandicoot? Well, there might be some brand new games. Who knows? Or something else. We may never know. But we'll see how far it goes. But right now, this is gonna be my entry for the Crash Community Day, and we're gonna can't wait for September 9th, and we're gonna be celebrating 25 years of everybody's favorite Bandicoot. Okay. See ya, and we'll see what's next for for the entire Crash Bandicoot community, and what's gonna be next for Crash Bandicoot.